You're still watching Business Today. We'll be back from the break. All right, now let's get rolling again. Now we talk business in Uganda, women in business in particular. Now, as we speak, 800 billion Ugandan shillings have been allocated by government to help sustain women in business. As of today, Kasita Uganda has equipped thousands of women in business with skills that will enable them thrive through the effects of COVID-19. The major focus for this training was to acquire knowledge on how agricultural productivity can be improved so that there is an increase in demand. We have details to this report.
Dr. Ruth Biyinzika revealed that the government has allocated $217 million, approximately 18 billion Ugandan shillings, under the Ministry of Gender and Private Sector Foundation to help women in business.
Uganda has received $217 million. That is about 217 times 3.5. How much is that? 800 billion? Isn't it? It's a lot of money. Hey, so we have 800 billion for women. And this money is with the Ministry of Gender and PSFU. And at PSFU, I'm the one coordinating that particular intervention. It's already in the financial year. I think you had the minister. Part of it is already there. The minister talked about it. But I want to tell you what is it.
The 800 billion Ugandan shillings is to be used by skilling women for free in business, giving 1 million to 1,000 women who are into innovation, and 250 billion will be put under the loan scheme, where there will be an annual 10% interest charge.
Going to support women platforms for advocacy, training, trade fairs, kasita. Wina chapter be abachala ndozeno e chapter yabwe yabachala. Bwe mugamba nti ebyo trade fair abachala bagende Goma kati bino byonna bye bagambye. Omuntu ogende ekonga amaleyo omwezi mulamba. That money you spend, you need to get it for free. This is what other countries do. You get it, and the money for that will be available. If you have products and you want to look for markets, you want partners, you want to do strengthen, such an event would be funded under the platform. That is the first thing. The second thing, free of charge, what we are calling a core business course. For you to learn business management, and we will work with Enterprise Uganda, Makerere University Business School, and many others to give women a chance to know the basics in financial management. Eri abachala abasinga mubera ne businesses zamwe nange nina.
All right, apologies for that particular report, but now we switch our eyes to the banking system in Uganda as we are setting up solutions to mitigate fraud in the banking system. Uganda Bankers Association is set to collaborate with NIRA to minimize challenges on cyber network. Players in the financial services industry have been urged to put in place strong security controls to curb the ever-increasing fraud in the East African region. Now, the Banking, Payment and Commerce, together with Uganda Bankers Association, have come up with Smart Visa Solutions portfolio to mitigate the impact of fraud across Africa. And in this report, Samuel Chirimunda, a reporter of Smart 24, explains the bankers' concerns.
According to the report, Uganda loses between $1 million and $10 million annually to fraud, while Kenya and Tanzania lose more than $10 million each year. In order to avoid frauds in African banking systems, the Banking, Payment and Commerce has held a discussion with the Uganda Bankers Association to solve the challenge of fraud in the sector. The Managing Director, Head of Sub-Saharan Africa, Frank Moller, says Banking, Payment and E-Commerce will collaborate with stakeholders to reduce on the fraud solution, which will help banks to survive for so long, as many banks are ending up in losing much money.
Don't just think of the system itself. We have a very robust system that can deter, prevent, manage fraud in all different ways. It's an end-to-end system. But you know what you have to do? before you think of a system, before you think of a fraud prevention tool, you need to ask yourself a number of questions. How are your controls? Because if your controls are not solid, how will a fraud solution or fraud system help you? You have to think of your onboarding process or hiring process, because sometimes fraud is prevented by the type of people you bring into your institution. You have to think of your guidelines, your policies and your processes. How do this work? Once you've confirmed that all this is in play, and most importantly, your controls have what we call a maker and checker. It's not one person managing everything. Then now the fraud solution comes on top and marries and links with everything else. That way you end up having a very effective fraud solution. In itself, it cannot be effective without you having the right controls in your organization. You're coming to us as BPC and we are talking about fraud solution. It is important for you as a bank, as a fintech or a payment enabler, make sure your housing is in order. And this is a mere truth. I would really want you to have the solution, the fraud solution, or any other thing. That's the truth. But you know what? We would not want to make you have a solution and your house is not in order. So make sure your governance is clear, your structures are clear, your controls, most important, are clear, your onboarding processes are clear. These are the basic fundamentals of mitigating fraud. Then thereafter, a fraud solution comes and becomes an umbrella or a safety net and a rider to all the things you've done. In itself, it might not help you much.
Head of Communications and Corporate Affairs, Uganda Bankers Association, Patricia Amito, revealed that they are working closely with National Identification Regulatory Authority as a national database to identify the fraud within the industry. She also says that they will be collaborating with them to minimize account opening, which will help to reduce on a certain number to eliminate cyber risks.
We embarked on a journey to develop a system that we call the electronic Know Your Customer that allows for financial institutions to integrate onto the NIRA database. NIRA is a national ID identification and registration system. So it allows financial institutions to be able to integrate on that system and be able to verify details of the customer, but also minimize on delays that we've been experiencing when it comes to account opening. So it speaks to efficiencies that we're trying to drive within the banking sector. So part of our collaborations, we are also developing a shared cybersecurity center. It's at a point where the design has been completed and we are moving to the implementation together with our own member banks. So this will enable us collectively join efforts to address the issue of cybersecurity risks within the center, but also enable us to share knowledge, share information, share incidences, and above all, minimize on the challenges of the risks that are caused by incidences that are a result of breaches in cyber security network.
Bariji Andrew, Samuel Chirimunda, Smart 24.
All right, now lastly from business today, we talk financial technology. As the adaptation of financial technology in Uganda has largely impacted the transactions considering the speed of its execution. The timely execution has resulted to a spur in business growth and development, as experts in the information technology do explain.
Uganda is a home of several fintech companies that make part of the Africa's payment ecosystem. Fintech companies play a fundamental role in providing financial services like payments, insurance, loans, money transfers through technology like mobile application, web apps, and APIs. Fintech has been growing in the country and has played a growing role in various aspects of people's lives. Experts reveal why Uganda should adopt this trend for purposes of growth and development of economic activity.
So many innovations coming on board. We have saved a lot of time in the first place, and also our minds have opened to actually understand that we can do so much around finances and all that without having to hustle. So I look at if you're to look at innovations like you see now what Flutterwave has brought to the country. Someone sends you money and you can receive the money within just a few minutes, either on your mobile phone on your account. So we see also things like reduction in things to do with fraud and all that kind of stuff. Having to carry money in bulk and, you know, wasting a lot of time. Then at the end of the day, you're calling someone, oh, I have lost this money. So I seek convenience, saving a lot of time, and also it has also been a place for our innovators to actually think in several directions. When you see so many innovations coming up, it's a point where now the innovators also see and they're like, okay, we can do more with innovations. And I can tell you, in a few years to come, we shall be having a lot to do with fintech.
This reality has promoted financial inclusion for many Ugandans. In fact, the country's digital economy contribution is around 7% of its gross domestic product.
Seeing transactions, people are making transactions at a cheaper cost, and you know it is inevitable in our lives to use such technologies. Back then in the days when we used to line up in banks to get money, to withdraw money, to deposit money, to make transactions, if I wanted to transfer my money from one bank account to the other, how would I do it? But now we have the technology in the finance sector. Though people in Uganda, mostly in the world, haven't embraced this because of trust issues, you know, that comes with the technology that we use. Yes, it is full of fraud, full of conmen that make it hard for us to undertake this and trust it.
The country's overall aspirations can be seen with its Uganda Vision 2040 strategy, whereby much of the country will have a diverse, sustainable and digital economy. Similar long-term aspiration as other countries across the Middle East, and Africa. Barije Andrew, Smart 24.
All right, sounds of Barije Andrew. Now, with that, we take a look at the recap of the stories that we've had for you in tonight's bulletin. All right, and thank you very much for being part of Business Today. My name is Jerome Paul Sonko, and we've been coming to you live from Plot 42 Nile Avenue. We are Smart 24 TV driving business. You can follow us on our social media platforms: Twitter, Smart 24 TV, Facebook is Smart 24 TV Official, Instagram is Smart24_TV, and the website is www.smart24.tv, YouTube, Smart 24 TV. Do remember to subscribe. And I'll definitely say it's a good night and goodbye from me, from the entire team here, Smart 24 TV. Till tomorrow, it's a blessed good night and goodbye.